Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today we're talking about, actually today's kind of a special day, seeing as this is the 1 year anniversary of my PlayStation 5 coming home with me. So, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get on with this 1 year review of the PlayStation 5. So, I'm going to start this off right now by saying PlayStation 5 is the most overhyped, underdelivered console I have ever received in my life. And it's easy to say that. It's extremely easy to say that because we all know that racing games are showcase games for next-gen consoles. It's never failed. Every time you get a new PlayStation or an Xbox, their flagship racing game is always pushing the limits and always looking amazing. We have received that. We did not receive that with the PlayStation 5 this time. We literally waited a whole freaking year, well, over a year, just to get Gran Turismo 7. Now, I rated Gran Turismo 7 at a 9.8 because I do believe that it is a solid experience. Now, I did take a step back while reviewing that game and while working on that. Yes, there are a million ways that I could go out of my way to find reasons to tear that game down. I can. But as it sits, Gran Turismo 7 is in fact a PlayStation 4 game that is upgraded to take advantage of the PlayStation 5 hardware. And taking that into consideration, I decided to rate the game on gameplay, I did rate it on, on visuals and stuff too. I decided to rate that game on its gameplay and the overall package as opposed to just tearing it down because of all the little things that, all the things that I could see. Yes, I do in a way kind of feel like Gran Turismo. I kind of feel like PlayStation 5 in general has been a whole bait and switch. And it's really tested my patience over this year a lot. I mean, when we were getting the first games on it, like Miles Morales, talking about, well, yeah, it's 4K, but it's got checkerboarding in it. Well, not checkerboarding, but upscaling in it to make it look even better or whatever. I was like, this is a PlayStation 4 game. This game is a PlayStation 4 game, and we are using checkerboard rendering right out of the gate with a brand new $500 next-gen console. Right then and there, I kind of figured that I was like, wow, man, this thing might actually be more of a letdown than I had ever imagined. And that's exactly how it's kind of felt the whole generation with this. I mean, we've had to pay a premium price for upgraded PlayStation 4 content. A premium price. Because every single game that has come out on the PlayStation 5 would in fact run on a PlayStation 4 just at lower resolution, including Deathloop and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Everything to date would run on a PlayStation 4. So, when you look at that, and you look at that, now, so I have bought every single one of those first party games. I bought them all. Every single one of them. From Demon's Souls Remake all the way to Gran Turismo 7 and everything in between. So, the last game I was playing was Gran Turismo 7. The game before that was Horizon Forbidden West. Sifu. All the way back, I've bought and I've played all of these games, and every single freaking one of them have left me wanting. I mean, that's true. They have. If you take a look at Horizon Forbidden West, the cutscenes in that game look freaking phenomenal. They look amazing. But the gameplay, like seriously, the gameplay, the world, the only time that game ever looks good is at night. Or underwater. If you're underwater or it's nighttime, the game looks great. But anytime during the day, in the 60 FPS mode, it's fuzzy. It's completely fuzzy because they ruined it with checkerboard rendering. And then in the 4K, it's 30 frames a second. So you never get the optimal experience that you want from a premium console that Sony shouts from the rooftop that it's the best ever. Now you notice that all these games are coming out and they're getting a lower review score. They are, because they are basically PlayStation 4 games that have been upgraded to run on a PlayStation 5. The whole talk about believing in generations and we're going to let the games speak for themselves, they are speaking for themselves. And the more I play them and the more I see them, the more I just feel, the more I feel let down, like it was a bait and switch. It makes me feel like a PlayStation 5 Pro is coming. And then that's just gonna anger a lot of people. That's gonna anger me, because yeah, I have a channel, so I'm gonna end up buying one. That's just more money that I got to put out there. I have a feeling that the PSVR 2 is gonna disappoint me as well, because if my PlayStation 5 can't even play PlayStation 4 games at 4K 60, like, we have a problem there. Without having to use checkerboard rendering, we have a serious problem there. There is something seriously wrong with that APU and their 36 cores that is seriously preventing them from doing... we couldn't even get Ghost of Tsushima at 4K 60 without it having to be checkerboard rendered. We couldn't get the Uncharted series at 4K 60. That's what I'm talking about. Whenever I want to play a game, if I want the 60 FPS mode, I have to choose a lower resolution. Like, there's no medium, or it's, you know, or it's completely a ruined experience, like Horizon Forbidden West or Returnal, with them being so heavily checkerboarded. Checkerboard is not Sony putting their best foot forward. Now, we're not talking about like games that you can download on a subscription like Xbox. We're not talking about games that are still $60. We're talking about full-fledged $70 games that are charging you a premium price, a premium upgrade fee for what? What exactly are you getting? Is what I want to understand. Now, if you're coming from PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4 Pro, I know you're going to be in my comment section. Oh my gosh, PlayStation 5 is the best. I came from Xbox One X. Like, I already seen everything you're seeing now on my Xbox One X, because let's face it, PlayStation 5 is a 4K 30 frames a second game or system. Xbox One X was a 4K 30 frames per second experience. Almost everything that Microsoft put out has been upgraded to 60 frames a second at 4K still. Everything that PlayStation has put out has been like, ooh gosh, you get 1440p or you get checkerboard rendering. I don't like the way checkerboard looks. And hey, just play Horizon Forbidden West in the 60 FPS mode and tell me you like that. Tell me you like that and you think it looks great. PlayStation should have moved away from checkerboard rendering. I think is what happened was they doubled down on it. They say that the PlayStation 5 is 10.2 teraflops, but from my experience with Xbox One X and PC and Xbox Series X, I don't feel like they're using 10.2 teraflops on any of those games. Like, I just don't feel that is the case. I feel like it's closer to the 9, because it looks, I mean, their 4K games do look a little bit better than what I was getting on Xbox One X, but not 10 teraflops better. Like, it doesn't look that much better. And you would think, but I mean, like, when you look at Xbox Series X running a game that I used to play on the Xbox One X, it looks better. It has better freaking, like, the 60 FPS works, you know, pretty dang good. Everything has been upgraded and touched on, and better yet, they didn't charge me an extra $10 fee for my little haptic feedback controller that, man, the Xbox controller feels pretty dang good these days. So when it comes to PlayStation 5, I feel like it is the most overhyped, under-delivered console they have ever made from PlayStation. Yes, it's the most powerful PlayStation ever made and released. Like, I get that. Like, I understand that. And I'm not saying everything looks bad on it. I'm just saying that, man, this thing should have been $399, and the other one should have been like $299. The only console that really the only console that's out right now that truly impresses me every day is the Xbox Series S. for the amount of money that that thing costs and for the capability that it can produce, I'm like, wow, man, that's actually pretty good. That's impressive to me. But a PlayStation 5 that costs the exact same amount as my Series X, having to rely heavily on checkerboard rendering to even give me like a 1800p checkerboard rendering on an open world game, when Assassin's Creed Valhalla can do that and look better, even at the lowest it drops to 1440p, looks better than Horizon Forbidden West, a AAA Sony first party studio. You're telling me the Ubisoft game looks better? I don't know, man. Like, I mean, Ubisoft is not known for their perfect graphics, but I mean, come on, man. Like, I play Assassin's Creed Valhalla and I'm immersed. I play Horizon Forbidden West and it's either so fuzzy at 60 frames a second or it's too stuttery at 30 frames a second that my immersion is consistently broken. My immersion is consistently broken due to the lack of power that the PlayStation 5 has. I do not care about the super fast SSD. I have not experienced any problem with my Series X or my Series S when it comes to loading times. I would much rather have them spend that money to give us more power than an SSD that doesn't even literally do much to change anything. The fastest you can load in is 1 second. You still get popping on PlayStation 5. I mean, for freak's sake, you're getting popping on Gran Turismo 7 and you barely get popping on freaking Forza 7. So if that SSD is so amazing, why are we getting so much pop-in still? Why? On every game that we play, we still get pop-in on the PlayStation 5. So the SSD is a joke. You've got way slower memory, so you're not getting enough memory to the GPU fast enough to where it will alleviate that pop-in. The PlayStation 5 is definitely bottlenecked. There's something going on with the PlayStation 5. I don't know exactly what. It's going to take PlayStation a few years to really figure it out and start putting out games that can actually utilize that stuff. But don't expect any kind of miracles, because I don't. Like, it's been over a year since the PlayStation 5 came out, and we've had plenty of Sony first-party games to show us exactly what the PlayStation 5 is capable of. It's a bait and switch. I feel like it was a bait and switch. I feel like they did the whole Sony marketing and whatever, and this time I feel like they're doing a bad job at it, just because a lot of people are starting to understand and see this, and a lot of people like me are starting to make content and videos about it to show the shortcomings. Now, I've seen the review tech, some of the review tech review on Gran Turismo 7. I watched a little bit of it. I do feel like they're just out there for the clicks to try to kick that game. Whatever. I thoroughly enjoyed my experience with Gran Turismo 7, and I stand by that review. I do. Yes, there are plenty of things in that game that I can go after and I can kick it for, but I just decided that I'm gonna hold my tongue on that one. I really did enjoy my experience, so I'm not gonna go out of my way to kick it and bring it down and ruin that experience for somebody else that watches my channel. If you watch my channel and Gran Turismo is one of your things, the last thing I want you to do is be influenced by me to not like that experience when you like it. Like, I don't want to do that to you. I don't want you to feel that way. The PlayStation 5 is a little bit different story. A little bit different. Like, I understand if you watch my channel and you play PlayStation 5, the same thing should go for the console itself. But I can't do that. I cannot do that. I can't sit here feeling the way I feel about PlayStation 5, how I feel like it was overhyped and underdelivered, and not try to warn you like I have been doing for like the last year, because this channel's almost a year old, and not try to warn you that, like, hey man, like, temper your expectations, because things are not where they should be with the PlayStation 5. They're not. I mean, we're getting third-party games that are running at 1152p, and then the Xbox version is running higher than 1440p, and you're still getting frame drops on a racing game. Clearly, there's something wrong with the PlayStation 5. There's clearly something bottlenecking it, or Or maybe it's just not as powerful as it's supposed to be because it's not full RDNA 2. Maybe it is just a hybrid of RDNA 1.5 and the GPU just isn't as strong as the GPU is in the Xbox Series X. Because I know the full power of the Series X is not being utilized. Because when I'm playing on my PC and I'm playing a game on the Xbox, that Xbox is holding its own pretty good. When I compare those two games, like the Xbox holds its own pretty good. The PlayStation 5 definitely falters. It definitely falters a lot more than what I experience on the Xbox. And all these videos that are coming out with all these analysis from like PlayStation Foundry and everybody else saying, oh, the PlayStation game runs better and all of that. Like, seriously, the whole last generation, the whole thing was resolution. And now we're just going to switch gears and be like, oh my gosh, I get 55 frames and Xbox gets 54 frames. Really? Really? Really, guys? Are we really going to stoop that low? No. The PlayStation 5 should be more than capable of delivering a 4K 60 experience. It should. That's what they sold us. That's what they told us. Why? Why are we now talking about the quality of the pixel as opposed to the native resolution that the PlayStation 5 should be doing? Like, why are we giving up that standard to kick Xbox when Xbox is doing pretty much what they said they were going to do? I like my higher resolution, especially on my $1,400 TV that I bought. Yeah, man, at least it's being put to work by the Xbox. The PlayStation 5, man, is like 1440p. I'm like, just give me 1440p support for my 1440p monitor, and I will play my PlayStation 5 exclusively on that, because at the end of the day, what's the point of having it hooked up to a 4K TV if I got to play everything at 30 frames a second? I'd much rather have a crystal clear, sharp picture on my 1440p monitor while playing my PlayStation 5 than have it hooked up to my 4K OLED. It doesn't do me any good on the OLED. It doesn't have freaking Dolby Vision support, so it doesn't have VRR, so what's the point? Like, give me 1440p support, and I'll be a lot happier with my PlayStation 5. So, Sony, if you're listening to this, I really hate how I feel about PlayStation 5. Like, this really sucks. I've been a PlayStation fan for over 25 years now. I've bought every single PlayStation from the very first one all the way through PSPs, everything. I have been a loyal supporter, and I want to see things get better. But as it sits right now, I do not 100% feel like I'm getting the PlayStation 5 experience, premium experience that I paid for, that I was told I was going to get when I was told the price of my games and everything were going to go up. I've paid for all of my upgrades. I've paid for all of these games. And no, I don't sit and watch anybody else's review before the games come out. I do my own review when the game comes out. And I have yet to be blown away by anything on the PlayStation 5. I haven't been blown away by any of it. Nothing has blown me away like the feeling that I would get on my Xbox One X when I would see a game. Or the feeling that I get on my Series X. That, I don't have to choose on my Series X. I get a nice resolution, whether it's native or not. It looks good on my 4K TV, and I get a 60 FPS. And if I can't get the full 60 FPS, I have VRR support that will make it appear like I'm getting my 60 FPS. At least Xbox was forward thinking and delivered these basic next gen features that should already be on a PlayStation 5. Now, if you're a PlayStation fanboy and you're watching this, I know you're going to leave some pretty interesting comments in my thing. So whatever. I've paid for this. This is my opinion. You might have a completely different opinion. Maybe I got a broken PlayStation 5. Maybe my PlayStation 5 is defective. I don't know. But yeah, I'm still waiting to be blown away by this thing, guys. So yeah, a year and a half. I've spent well over $3,000 on games and accessories and stuff for the PlayStation 5 since I've had it. So yeah, dude, I just wanted to deliver an experience that is truly worthy of being a next-gen PlayStation console. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm sorry this went a little bit long. This is definitely one of those rants. So, man, it's just how I'm feeling now. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And that DualSense. Wow, DualSense. Have a good night. Thanks.